Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing yet another soup recipe with you, and this time is a chicken soup with dumplings. Dumplings are pretty much little pieces of dough, but if you're interested in a more scientific explanation, here it is, all written down for you. But first we have to make chicken soup. So I have about 2-pound chicken, I have 1 onion, 1 carrot, 1 celery. We don't need to peel the vegetables because we need them just for flavoring. Then I'm gonna make a spice pack which contains some peppercorn, some bay leaf, and some coriander. And I like using these little tea bags because you can put all your spices inside and it would be easier for you to fish it out later. And I also have some salt, pepper, and some dry herbs. In a large stock pot, add your chicken, and I have the 8 quarts pot here. We're gonna add water, about 5.5 quarts, and we're gonna place it on the stove to boil. And don't forget the slotted spoon. We will need it later. For this soup, we're also going to need some veggies. I have 3 stalks of celery, 2 medium carrots, and I have some fresh herbs. I actually have a parsley from my garden. Yes, I grew something. Some dill and cilantro. Keep checking on your soup right before the boiling point. You need to collect all this foam that appears on the top of your stock and discard it. And if you don't do it in the beginning, it will all end up in your soup, and your soup is not gonna look pretty. Then we're gonna put all our veggies. There's no need to peel them, they're gonna be discarded later. We're gonna put the onion, our spice pack, and salt and pepper. As soon as the boiling process have started, reduce the heat, close the lid, and we're gonna leave it to simmer for about 45 minutes. And these little things I have on my pots called the steam escapes, and I actually have quite a collection of them. In the meantime, we need to prep our veggies for the soup, and everything pretty much just gets chopped. So I'm gonna chop my carrots in circles. I'm gonna chop my celery. Kind of like a fine chop, but not too fine, I guess. And we're also gonna use some fresh herbs in our soup, and we're gonna add them to the soup later after our soup is done. And I'm using cilantro, parsley, and dill. It's been 45 minutes of cooking time and our stock is done, so you can tell by the meat from detaching from the bone on the chicken. So we can just remove the chicken because we're gonna use it later, and remove all the veggies that were there for flavoring. And this ingredient I didn't list, but I'm gonna use a teaspoon of vegeta. Vegeta is pretty much a soup base. It's used a lot in Eastern European cooking, especially in making soups. And get the white package of it because it's all natural, doesn't contain any preservatives or additives. But it's gonna add an additional flavor to your soup and also a pretty yellow color. Then load your vegetables, your carrots and celery. We're gonna close the lid and we're gonna leave it to simmer for about 20 minutes or until our vegetables are fork tender. To make dumplings, you're gonna need 2 equal parts of water and flour, and my containers are 250 milliliters, so the recipe would be for that amount. You're also gonna need 3 tablespoons of butter, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 egg. Our dumplings are gonna be made out of choux pastry, and it's pronounced choux, like blue suede shoes. So in a small saucepan, add your water, add your salt, mix it, then you're gonna add your butter. And we're gonna wait for the butter to melt, and we're gonna bring this mixture to a boil. As soon as the boil process have started, you need to add your flour all at once, and you're gonna start mixing it. And this is how the choux pastry is made. And choux pastry is pretty much used for making eclairs, but I can assure you it's gonna make us the most amazing dumplings. So we need to mix this dough very rapidly so it kind of forms into a ball, and it's done. Transfer your dough into a bowl, just spread it around so it cools down a little bit. And after it cooled down a little bit, we're gonna mix in 1 egg. And at first it's gonna look like there's no way it's gonna get mixed in, but you know, you have to put some muscles to work. and mix it in to form a very soft and even dough. And it's ready. Then you can add a little bit of oil on a table surface or a silicone mat. But then, you guys, I realized I added the oil on the silicone mat and my dough was just sliding like crazy. So if you are using a silicone mat, don't add the oil because I doubt your dough is gonna stick. But if any other table surface, you might add a little bit of oil, but don't add any flour. So we just need to roll this dough into a long snake, and we're gonna start cutting our dumplings, which are about 1/2 inch. Dumplings, you can make them smaller, you can make them larger, but I kind of like this size, so I'm going for it. It's 1/2 inch. And this amount of dough is going to make you a lot of dumplings, but we have a large pot to fill. If you're making a smaller amount of your soup, you might not have to use all the dough, but we will see how much do we need as soon as we start making our soup. Our veggies are done, so we're gonna start adding our dumplings, and I'm gonna start adding them by 10, and then I'm gonna use the spoon, kind of swirl them around, make sure they don't stick to the bottom of the pot, and this way you will be able to tell if you added enough. Don't overcrowd your soup with dumplings, but add enough dumplings so when you serve your soup, everybody gets some. And of course, I know my kids, they probably just gonna eat the dumplings first, so I'm gonna add them all into my soup. Now it's up to you what you wanna do with the boiled chicken. You can add some chicken to your soup, so I just gonna add some. I'm gonna remove the meat from the bones, and I'm gonna cut it into smaller cubes, or you can just reserve the chicken for something else. Let's say like make a chicken salad, but I'm gonna add some meat to my soup. I think it's gonna add a nice flavor to it and also some body. As you can see, our dumplings have floating on the top. It means they're ready. So we're just gonna cook them for a couple more minutes. We're gonna add the meat, and we're gonna add our fresh herbs. We're gonna mix it, cook it for just a couple minutes, and after that we're gonna adjust our seasoning. So if it needs more salt, add more salt. You can add freshly ground black pepper. Then taste it again and see that your seasonings are all right. Then we're gonna turn off the heat and our soup is ready. Now all we need to do is just to taste our soup, and seriously, I can't wait. When you serve your soup, make sure everybody gets plenty of dumplings in their bowl, and so is veggies and a little bit of meat. You can decorate it with a little bit more fresh parsley right on top of the soup or on the side of your bowl. That would look very pretty. And we're gonna taste the soup, and of course I'm gonna cut it into dumpling and show you what the consistency of the dumpling is. And it's very airy. It is absolutely delicious. The dough is amazing. No wonder this soup has become one of my favorite ones to make. So I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.